Business Brain, episode 567 for Wednesday, July 17th, National Hot Dog Day, 2024. Greetings, folks, and welcome to Business Brain, the show where we take a few ideas, we dissect them, we analyze them, we cogitate upon them, we use them to tune our business brains every single time we get together. Here, our sponsor for this episode is fastmail.com/businessbrain. That's where you can go to try them free for 30 days and get 10% off your order. We'll talk more about that in a little bit here on National Hot Dog Day in Durham, New Hampshire. I'm Dave Hamilton.
And in Lafayette, California, I'm Shannon Jean. That was something a little different about that introduction, it seemed to me.
I played the wrong song.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought perhaps it was in honor of National Hot Dog Day, which, why is that not on the 4th of July? Because that's like the hot dog, that's ridiculous. Fair. But so we'll give you a pass.
I played the Mac Geek Up theme song.
Yeah, so we get it's like a little bonus. I'm ready for new music. We can
do new music. We shouldn't do that song because that's sort of branded with my other show. But
that's good. You just got to roll with it, man.
Oh, we're rolling with it.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I could see you were like, but I'm like, well, maybe, I don't know, whatever. I'm like, but I'm used to this song. So it doesn't dawn on me that it's wrong.
Yes. Yeah. So, hey, that's so funny because I've had one of those days too.
Same.
And I just, before we get into our main topic, which I think is timely, how do you, I'm pretty good at this, but sometimes, and what I said to you when I started, like 95% of my life, it's smooth, man.
Charmed.
I've spent decades dialing it in. So it's just like, boom, productive. And I could do this and this gets in, everything works. But when that 5% starts to back up, like through the plumbing, and then something else happens, and there was some plumbing involved in my problem today. So that's why I bring that up. And then a small technical thing gets in your way that starts to, which is why we got delayed today, because I had this problem I had to solve. And then in the middle of it, I never answer my phone. If you call me, if your name doesn't come up,
right,
I'm not answering my phone. Right. It's just, I'm sure everybody's this way right now.
I am not. I make it a policy to answer my phone. I'm very efficient at getting people at ending the call.
Well,
it usually ends with, and thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Right, which is a great magic phrase, but I answer my phone because sometimes the phone rings and it's opportunity.
It is opportunity, and I have a great voicemail, so I usually get people to leave messages if it's important for me.
Yep.
But this time I got hooked in by someone who there's no way they would be watching this, so I can just go nuts on how they were wasting my time, and I could not get them off the phone, and I'm literally dealing with the problem. Some physical problems and then some digital problems. And I'm watching the clock. And that's when I sent you a message. I said, there's absolutely no way. There may have been some cussing involved. There's no way I'm making the 1 o'clock time start. And I blame it all on this time vampire that sucked,
time vampires. Yeah.
Sucked me. It sucked the minutes out of my day. And I can usually manage I'm pretty good, I think, at multiple things going on, but I'm chatting with tech support with my server host at the same time that I'm trying to solve a literal plumbing backup issue with the well system and then another small problem. And this person I can't get off the phone, all because I answered the phone. And it reiterates, I'm not answering the phone anymore unless I recognize your number. I'm not doing it.
I highly recommend incorporating and thank you. And
I
not
like that.
But the trick is you don't, when you answer, I say, this is Dave or hello or, whatever, do whatever you want to do. Yep. I don't recommend you say this is Dave unless that is your name.
Maybe they realize they got the wrong number.
Our listeners whose name is Dave. Okay. So, right. There's that. But I I answer the phone and I say thanks. I say hello, and they start in with their pitch, and I'll give them 15 seconds to give me their pitch, right? But this is me being polite. And
what if it's a machine? If you know it's a machine,
I hang right up. It's totally fine. Yeah. But I let them get their 15 seconds or less. At 15 seconds, I cut in, and I say, "Hey, thank you so much for calling. Now is not the right time for this. And if it is like truly, that never will be the right time for it. If I can deduce that from their pitch, I say that. I said, I'm not going to be a good fit.
Yeah.
And thank you for your time, because that's the end of the call when you thank somebody for their time. Not always when you've got pushy people, but once I've said, and thank you for your time, I'm hanging it up. We're done now. I'm hanging it up.
Yeah.
So
I can't do it because I get too much garbage calls during the day. Now my carrier says scam likely or whatever now, which is great. But yeah.
Another tip on this.
Yes, please.
If I'm in the middle of something or not, and I have a feeling that this call might be a problem, what I do is I pick up the phone and I say, "Oh, hey, Shannon." And if I know it's not you, but that way this person's a little bit off guard. They're like, "Oh, hey, actually I'm calling from, Acme Plumbing." And I say, "Oh my gosh, thank you for calling. I'm waiting for an important call from Shannon, so I've got to go now." And it ends it. But if they tell me they're super, if it's somebody that I want to talk to,
you're much friendlier than I am.
Then I'm good to go. Well, because I don't know, I have had life-changing moments happen from answering a call that I knew who it was that called me, but I didn't know it was them calling me. Positive life-changing moments. I'm sure I've also had negative life-changing moments, but you don't get to control. Here's my other thing. We don't get to control when the bad stuff gets into our lives. That stuff is going to make it in no matter what.
It does.
The good stuff is the easy stuff to keep out. And so when the good stuff shows up, I want to throw the door wide open.
Yeah.
And it's easy enough to get them out of there.
I like the framework. I think it's good. But then the question is the reset. Like you normally, I still don't know why I picked it up, but like I could not get rid of, or I shouldn't say that. I could not end this call in it kept going to, and one last thing. And
no. See, by that point, I've already told them that we're over the time limit that they've had.
Yeah.
And if I want to hear from somebody else, say, "This is great. I'm waiting for this call from Shannon, but I can give you 90 seconds.
The crazy thing about this call, it was someone requesting me to do certain things. And I said, "Great, send me an email and I'll make that connection for you." And then they kept going to go. And it was like, man, I don't know. It just really, I think it was normally, well, I wouldn't have answered the phone normally, but second, because I was juggling two other problems that had become significant. And well, on their own, they probably wouldn't have been significant, but I think that's what put me over the top. So anyway, that's my take.
All right, look. Have you ever felt like your inbox is a chaotic jungle filled with ads, spam, and digital monkeys swinging from vine to vine? Well, prepare to be amazed, because our sponsor Fastmail is here to transform that jungle into a pristine oasis. I've been using Fastmail as my primary email provider for over 5 years, and it's like having a personal assistant who's always on point. Fastmail is an independent, employee-owned email provider that's been delivering a premium inbox experience for over 20 years. No ads, no creepy data sharing, just a clean, efficient email service that values my time, and they value yours too. For as little as $5 a month, you can get a private inbox with Fastmail. They've got new multi-user plans that make it affordable for your household and your business. The Duo plan is perfect for you and a partner. The family plan covers up to 6 people, and their business plan, you get powerful admin controls for managing your empire. Fastmail's productivity features are top-notch. Customize your workflow with colors, custom swipes, night mode, and more. Plus, you can now buy a domain through Fastmail, and they'll set it up for you instantly. Their human support team is available 24/7, ensuring you're never alone in the email wilderness. So, If you're ready to make your email life better, try Fastmail free for 30 days and then get 10% off your first year at fastmail.com/businessbrain. Again, Fastmail free 30 days, then 10% off your first year at fastmail.com/businessbrain. Fastmail, because a charmed life deserves a charmed inbox, and our thanks to Fastmail for sponsoring this episode. You got another idea for us, Shannon? That was a good one.
I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
We did an episode on this a few years ago.
We've done two, episode 98 and episode 392. Yep.
Okay, great. That's good. So we're about now 560, whatever it is.
Time.
So that's about right. So like most of us, I have opinions about politics. I'm not afraid to admit it or ashamed to admit it.
Sure.
And like some of us, certainly probably maybe most of the people listening to this show, I've owned a bunch of companies. And there had been times where I felt compelled that maybe we should make some sort of statement about a political statement.
Like, not just personally somewhere, but as a business, you want to make a political statement.
Especially when, obviously, what this past weekend, we had an assassination attempt of a former president, which despite your politics, I certainly believe everyone would agree is a horrific event. It wouldn't matter who it is.
Correct.
And, I was fascinated this weekend and in Sunday and into Monday watching the responses and measuring. And I too felt compelled, but I did not, because we've had these two episodes where I've talked about it. And I've been like, I've often think, but ultimately, so let's take, like, there was a couple of examples that came out, and, one was a sticker company that came out and made some certain comments.
Okay.
A certain way. And I was like, that's just not the way to handle it. I didn't think, because it's often, especially right now, politics is polarizing. So here you're maybe alienating half of the country, let's say, that would get angry with you, and maybe attracting the other half that's like, yeah, right on, or whatever. Maybe, or maybe, I don't know. The thing that keeps me from acting on this little, maybe you should go up there, is that I tell myself this. Nobody cares what I think. And politically, I believe people care what I think about a lot of things, business related, and my experiences and stuff that we talk about here in the show. I know that people care about that, and I feel honored that they care and they want to listen to us and hear. It's an absolute honor. I don't think they want to hear anything political from me at all. I hope they don't.
No.
And so that kept me, but I felt kind of weird.
That awareness is huge. Knowing that people aren't interested in that. And I learned...
It shouldn't be, right?
Well, yes. I learned it when we at Mac Geek Gab, which is the show I've been running 10 years longer than this one,
right.
People started writing into me thanking us for not including politics.
Oh, nice.
Ever even referring to politics in the show. They're like, it's such a breath of fresh air. And I was like, oh, well... You're welcome. This was not intentional. Up until that point, it wasn't intentional. Since then, of course, it has been, because we became aware of it.
Yes.
But it was like, oh, look at that. People, they have their own opinions.
Yes, they should.
I have mine. But
course.
the show, this isn't a politics show.
Correct.
And I'm not, well, first of all, you're right. Nobody cares what I think about politics.
Yes.
Also, I'm not a PR expert. So if I had saying anything that dances into a polarizing subject is easily misconstrued and misinterpreted.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous. Now, that said, I do a show for Apple users, right? Like there have been times when the Apple versus Windows thing is like huge, right? But I'm okay with that, because I can defend a position on that extremely well. And just in case anybody cares, I personally choose to use Apple devices. I have nothing against the other operating systems and other platforms. They all have their strengths.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I never try to convince anyone to switch. People have actually asked me, why aren't you convincing me to switch? It's like, I don't need that headache.
Yeah, well,
no,
that's right.
Yeah. So, but that's it. Like that's the only realm where but it is my area of expertise. Politics is not. So
and then check. So then, okay, I'm self-aware of that and everything. But then I found myself thinking maybe I should post about the fact that I'm not saying anything. And, which I was like, wait a minute, that, why, right? But because I felt
people
like
will interpret their own version of why.
Correct.
And you're still screwed.
You're into it. So I just, was quiet, but I did not, like I post every day on X, I'm trying to, grow that business, everything. I didn't post anything because I was like, well, today's probably not the day, at least Sunday.
Super smart.
Right. To be trying to tell people about, getting good deals and auctions and business and entrepreneurship. I was like, I'll just chill out today. And, right.
I think that's smart. I mean, I don't know though, because as I've said, I'm not a PR expert.
Me neither.
There were various things, especially like during like COVID itself, and then the other things that happened during COVID, the Black Lives Matter stuff, and various other important things. And my kids were like, you have a platform, you have a voice.
Yeah.
You're not saying anything. You're not using your platform. And I said, no, you're right. And I thought I hadn't even thought about it that way because I'm so far away from using my current platform that was not built because of my political opinions. And this is the important part.
Yeah,
right?
That's it right there. Yeah.
My platform's built because of my knowledge and expertise and willingness, eagerness to help people with other subject matter. And so I said to my kids, I'm like, people, and we thought about it. Like we had a long conversation because it turns out we had a lot of time at the dinner table. Yeah. And where I landed on it was people, as always, need an oasis. They need their entertainment. They need to go somewhere where that's not being talked about all the time.
I like it. Yeah.
And so like, other than, we talked about COVID more regularly on this show than on my Mac Geek Gab podcast.
Well, yeah, because it impacted businesses so much.
Correct.
Right?
We talked about
applicable.
Every week on Gig Gab, the show I did for performing musicians. Like, if we didn't, that would have been weird and off topic, right?
Correct.
But just like when when Apple announces something, it's like, well, we're going to talk about this on Mac Geek Gab because it's relevant simply because Apple did it. It impacts our world, whether it's something that we're interested in or not.
Yeah, and for me, I also, it's kind of a new experience, and you've probably had. I know you've had this for much longer, but as my followers and fans, whatever you want to call them, have grown, now weird stuff happens. Like if I mention a product on a post, all of a sudden I get DMs from the company that says, hey, we can fix that, or hey, where did you see that, or would you like an account that you can play around with, and we'll help you solve that problem. It's with great power comes great responsibility.
But that's true. That's the thing. And I look at
so funny,
my favorite example, and this is the closest I will get to dancing into politics.
Yeah,
is what J.K. Rowling did to her reputation.
Oh yeah,
she very popular author, beloved by pretty much the entire world. Very, very popular author of the Harry Potter series. And then she had some, I suppose they could be classified as political beliefs, but they were beliefs just about people in general.
Yeah.
And unrelated to Harry Potter in its entirety. And I'm presuming whatever viewpoint she shared, she had carried all the way through. I don't think it was a new thing.
No, I think her the way she framed it, was you could, but it begs the question. Well, she felt it was important enough
to use her platform,
to
spread this message, and it backfired on her. And it's like nobody wants nobody cares what you think about politics. And perhaps I have something to add to your, because that's what, I mean, you said nobody cares what I think, and I agree with that as well. Yeah. But perhaps a better way to say it is add on something to that. Nobody cares what I think about politics until I share what I think about politics.
That's it. And I don't, it's like, it's very, I respect the position, and I love, the interactions with everybody. And I just think it would, muddy the water, if you will, or taint that experience, because it's better not to know, right? It's just like,
I am
whatever.
perfectly, even if I know what your political, and I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to our audience here. Even if I know what your political leanings are, and it happens that they are not exactly in line with mine, and I will say, and this is the most I'll say, I don't think my political leanings align with anyone else other than me.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't expect them to, and it's okay that they don't.
Sure.
That's part of why I have no interest in sharing them. It's like, I don't want to try to convert you to Windows, and I'm not going to do this. So,
exactly.
But I am happy to have you as a listener, regardless of your political opinions or leanings, or whether you use Mac or Android. Now, listen, if you use Emacs as a text editor and not VI, we can't talk to each other anymore. Right. That's where I got to draw the line.
Yeah. So it's interesting. And like I said, I'd love to hear, stories that, or comments from other business owners, feedback at businessbrain.show. Let us know, did you feel compelled to say something this weekend or in the past?
Did we have this wrong?
I mean, I'm curious. My take on it is I'm just going to stay quiet because it's not relevant to my audience. But I'd love to hear, let us know what you think. And it'll be helpful.
Yeah, just make sure you, if you're going to email us, feedback@businessbrain.show. And if you're using a text editor to do it, use VI, because we're going to filter out everything that comes from Emacs.
I don't even know what that means. So
I know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's great.
We'll see you next time.